You can find us everywhere in the universe. We're on Twitter at Mercado2333. Like the radio show page on Facebook at Outreach Radio Chicago. And if you missed any shows, just go to YouTube and subscribe to me at Mike Mercado2333. And of course, it's our duty here on Outreach Radio Chicago to get the guests that our fans want. And it's funny, whenever we have Dr. Cass in on our show, we tend to get the most traffic on our social media. So today, we're going to have Dr. Cass Ingram back on the show, and he's going to give us some more of that awesome knowledge that he has in his head. Dr. Cass, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, I'm doing fantastic. How you been getting along? Long time no talk.
Yeah, I know, no kidding. You know, the Cubs keep winning, so I'm a happy camper.
That's something else. I mean, I think we injected them secretly with the hemp and all extract.
It wouldn't surprise me. They're staying healthy right now, and they look rusted. We know all the awesome work that you've been doing, but I think a lot of people just want to get your insight on a bunch of different stuff too.
Different things, yeah. Well, these disease processes, it's very important to look at the natural cures and natural alternatives and the God-given plants.
Yeah.
And it's going to take some time for everybody to learn and to really become comfortable with. And one of the biggest questions, of course, is I've got this condition. What do I take? What do I do? I'm desperate, and that's a challenge. But we could always go to the books.
Yeah.
The Cannabis Cure, The Cure in the Cupboard. I mean, that'll give you a baseline. It's got protocols. It's got answers, what you're looking for, what your audience needs. They're in the book. Mm. But the Cannabis Cure is particularly interesting because actually cannabis extract was official medicine for 100 years, from about 1850 to 1940, and in the pharmacopoeia in the doctor's black bag was cannabis pills and cannabis tincture. And nobody knows this. It was the official best medicine for a bad case of the nerves. Mm. It was depended upon for glaucoma. It fantastic for headaches and head pain, for exhaustion, for stress, for fighting back stress. It's been lost, so now we're bringing it back.
And you've been on the forefront of it for a long time now. And for anybody who hasn't heard a past episode with Dr. Cass Ingram, just so you guys know, if you're looking for more resources, do a little bit of research. The Cure's in the Cupboard, and you can dial 1-800-295-3737. What was the Cannabis Cure is the other book?
The Cannabis Cure, the two best books to get a baseline of natural cures, and I'll tell you why in a minute, but would be The Cure's in the Cupboard and now the brand new The Cannabis Cure. They actually have a kit. Mm-hmm. Go to CassIngram.com.
Yeah.
CassIngram.com. There should be a book kit with a big discount and free postage, all kinds of crazy stuff there. This is the Cannabis Cure. Mm-hmm. This is about the medicinal powers of, in this case, industrial hemp. In other words, that's the hemp that's used to make fiber. Mm. You can't smoke it and get high. You can't get stoned. You can't get nausea and munchies on this stuff. Mm-hmm. It's the same hemp they use to make rope and textiles and paper. So they extract the medicine out of the stalks after they grow it organically in Europe. See what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And the challenge people had is there's a lot of CBD oil on the market. People have heard about that, but most of the CBD oil is solvent extracted. Well, what I wanted to do was find something that they don't soak it in hexane and butane, which is lighter fluid, but that is just extracted naturally. So I found the Europeans. Mm-hmm. They extract the cannabis medicine with supercritical carbon dioxide, no heat, and then you get a green muck. Well, fortunately, somebody's put this on the market, and I'll tell you what they've added to it. They've added another cannabis-like plant, believe it or not, wild oregano. I'll tell you in a minute. But anyway, so these drops are what I'm using, and that's what I sent for you and your parents.
Yeah.
And so they're liking it. I'm not sure what they're, but I find it invaluable for the nerves, just like these two, for stress, for increasing your intellectual capacity, increasing your capacity with your voice, with your writing, with editing. And I think people should start, using it for that. Well, it turns out that hemp and the other cannabinoid-rich, see, we're talking about the cannabinoids. The cannabinoids are the things that feed the brain's endocannabinoid system. Mm-hmm. So as it turns out, that these cannabinoids that go into the brain, they pass through the blood-brain barrier, and they improve the balance in the nervous system, in the endocrine system, in the hormone system, in the internal organ system, the balance.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's so good. Do you know anybody that's got a perfect case of balance? Who does?
Right.
You know, but what I discovered was, in writing the book, is that cannabis, it's the kingpin, but it's not the only source of cannabinoids. A lot, people smoke pot. They don't just smoke it for nothing. Because they get something out of it. They get a sensation. They get a feel-goody.
Mm-hmm.
So we can just hold the smoking off to the side because we could use the extract, which is safe and non-addictive and all that. But the extract does the same thing. You get a feel-goody thing. But anything that you love that really makes you feel good is operating on those receptors, either the endorphins or the opiates or the cannabinoid receptors. Look at this. Who would eat a pizza without oregano?
Right.
Who's going to eat spaghetti without oregano? Oregano is rich in cannabinoids. Who's going to eat pesto sauce without basil? You'd be crazy. Basil is rich. Who's going to have a cinnamon roll without cinnamon? Cinnamon is super rich. Who's going to have apple pie without cinnamon, allspice, and cloves? They're rich in cannabinoids. Who's going to have lemonade without lemons? Lemons and limes are rich. Crazy stuff. So we're on to something here, man.
Why is it, though, like whenever we have you on, one of the first questions I keep getting back from any of the listeners is always, is it safe? Is it healthy? Is it clean? And you're literally naming off things that you get at the grocery store. Where is the misconception, though, that anything, why is it that hemp has become a negative word and anything behind it?
Hemp has gotten a very bad rap by the industrial pharmaceutical complex because the nylon people, the cotton people destroyed any interest, any possibility of growing hemp, which was grown in the farms here until the 1940s. They were very afraid that they couldn't monopolize with cotton and nylon and paper. The Hearst family also. They all got involved and they crushed it to death. They didn't want industrial hemp to grow. So then they demonized the whole thing. Well, the fact is, there's two species anyway. We don't want to deal with the marijuana plant. Let that be what it is. We're dealing with the industrial hemp. How could anybody ever think that the hemp that they use to make hemp seed oil, you're drinking hemp seed oil, or hemp seed protein, you're taking hemp seed protein, or hemp seeds, you're eating hemp seeds. How could that be bad if you extract the stalk? It's not even the leaves, it's the stalk. So it's silly to think it's bad. In fact, this cannabis extract, the word cannabis, of course, is to some people whatever.
Yeah, right.
We want to call it what it is. Cannabis extract / hemp extract. This is so safe that, and you could give drops to a baby. This is not marijuana. You can give it to a dog and a cat. Dogs and cats are little creatures usually. You give it to a toddler. You rub it on the skin. You take it yourself. And you can take not just 10 drops, you could take 100 drops. No toxicity of any kind, just good things. Actually, we should talk about the good.
Please.
This is a fantastic tool of natural medicine for human health. I had a woman with a miserable migraine at a trade show. I give her this hempenol. It obliterates it.
Wow.
Kaput. I get a headache. I take her lead. It obliterated it. And I rubbed it on my temples, and it was immediately effective. And I took it on the tongue. I had a woman. She slept wrong. Her neck went into a horrible spasm.
Ouch.
We were driving. She's screaming in pain. I give her the hempenol, which is the combination of the wild oregano and the hemp.
Yeah.
It eliminated the neck spasm. I'm very impressed. I give it to a woman with anxiety neurosis who's on SSRI drugs. Under her doctor's care, she ditches the drugs. That's not easy to do, my friend. So this is feeding, and I'll tell you in a minute why. It's feeding the endocannabinoid system. The cannabinoid receptors are receiving it, and it's big. And the reason why it's big, and it's bigger than CBD oil, bigger than Charlotte's Web, the reason why this is big is because of a substance known as beta-carophylline.
I saw that.
You did.
Yeah.
Beta-carophylline is what makes marijuana smell so kind of wild.
Ah.
It's also the smell of black pepper. It is the smell of oregano. It's the smell of hops. It's the odor of cinnamon. Beta-carophylline passes right through the blood-brain barrier, especially the kind you find in hemp and oregano, right through, and it activates the neurons and puts them into balance. That's why this is so infinitely valuable. That's why that combination is so valuable. It's a terpene. It's a very big molecule. And let me tell you something else. It's the only molecule we know of, along with cannabidiol, the CBD, that group, and the carophylline, that causes the brain to produce new brain cells. Not just regenerate damaged cells or repair or put you into a nice, sophisticated symphonic balance, but to actually induce new neurons, unheard of.
That is,
so,
yeah.
You know, if somebody's got addictions, they damage their brain, they've been on pharmaceutical drugs, that's the biggest addiction, by the way. They've had a stroke, they've got to have it. They've got tremor, they've got to have it. Epilepsy has to be. Autism has to have it. No. What kind of toxicity are you going to have? The toxicity is from the drug therapy, not from hemp.
Two big things. One, obviously, this is the fourth time we've been lucky enough to have Dr. Cass Ingram here on Outreach Radio Chicago, and we've narrowed it down. We know the problems with big pharma. It's just so huge and things like this. One of the other things, you could tell the spin doctors were working on this with the cannabinoids and all these other great things that since last time we talked, that you've been discovering. We're talking about helping bring back brain function and bringing back brain cells. And literally the stigma of marijuana has always been memory loss and things like that. So in the research itself, when you're trying to show people it, how hard is it to get out of that stigma?
It's not easy.
Yeah.
But in the book, we make it clear that marijuana has been raised to be hallucinogenic. It's high in THC. When you smoke it, the THC levels go up. That's not a good thing, and that those activate the wrong receptors. We want the CB2 receptor activation, and that comes from the terpenes, the cannabidiol. It's quite what's helping is that the states are listening to the parents who've gotten benefits and who now are authorizing that don't worry about it. We've got legislation. You can have your children take the product, the drops, the capsules. But, I mean, it's an education thing. We are making progress. People, you know what? Here's the best thing. Take it. If you've got a problem with your nerves, if you can't handle stress, you're in that loop and you can't get out of it, you're down for the count, you can't function, you've got a nervous system disease like Parkinson's, tremor, epilepsy, multiple sclerosis, you're full of inflammation, this is fantastic for pain and inflammation, take it. Experience it. And remember, it was official in the pharmacopoeia for 100 years. Why did they take it out? It's big business that did that. Come on.
You got to follow the money, and I think that's always the one thing we take from any up and coming, any new research that isn't part of the norm, mainstream stuff tends to get looked down upon, and it brings us to this point that I'm very excited for. Dr. Cass Ingram is joining us today. You can see his books, The Cure's in the Cupboard and The Cannabis Cure. Call 1-800-295-3737 or visit CassIngram.com or AmericanWildFoods.com. I get a bunch of Twitter questions, Facebook comments, and YouTube comments, especially with your show. It's such a hot button topic, not just...
Yeah, I know. Cannabis is God-given medicine, been used for 10,000 years.
Yeah.
This is industrial hemp. There's no tougher plant, no fiber that lasts longer in cloth, no paper that will last longer. It's indestructible material. You want it in your body, but you want a safe form. You want to ask about CBD oil, but keep in mind 80% of CBD oil is treated with solvents, either ethyl alcohol or particularly concerning hexane, which is a gasoline residue type, and butane and acetone. So better to move towards a crude supercritical extract. Fortunately, a company bravely put that out that happens to be a very standard company. They're not just a little thing on the web. North American Herb and Spice has put out Hempanol, Hempanol Super Strength, which is my favorite, Hempanol PM, and Hempanol Cream. And they also have a great protein powder called Hemp Raw with 15% wild blueberries, which is probably the most sophisticated protein powder available. Mm-hmm. Now, but back to the hempanol. The hempanol is complexed with wild oregano. They're both supercritical extracts. Mm-hmm. The hempanol PM material is complexed with hops, chamomile, cinnamon, and then the cannabis. So you've got synergy there. And I tell you what, it's a tremendous detriment to the human race to be in this position where we have to reboot a natural cure that was relied upon for 10,000 years. But we're making progress. Your show is helping. It's stirring up an interest.
Well, the big thing, too, is the people behind it, like yourself and all the people behind you and everybody you work with and in that community are trying to make a difference. And honestly, this is the one thing that I take the most out of a situation like this. Social media has helped out a lot. One of the main questions I get all the time is, Dr. Cass is very passionate about it. He is. Everybody, we can hear the passion coming out of your voice about this thing. I think what people get most confused about is where you stand in general of it, because it sounds like you're very progressive towards certain things, but you just want people to be able to know exactly what they're putting in their body.
Yeah, I mean, well, first of all, I'm the biggest anti-GMO guy in the universe. Mm-hmm. In my new book coming out, The Poison Cupboard, I don't take GMO supplements. I want them to know about it. I don't take coal tar supplements anymore. I want them to know about it. They don't know about it. Mm-hmm. But, sometimes you have to override all that. And when you find something that's absolutely astounding, you've got to brand it. You've got to get it out there. Mm-hmm. And I'm telling you that for 100 years, this was a standard natural drug in this country. God help us that we have to have people become totally educated and pull them out of their doldrums and out of their reticence mm-hmm. and out of their hesitance and out of their negativity and out of their worries when they used to take it freely from the doctors. This is a drug that God made. Mm-hmm. It's safe for human beings. We're not talking about marijuana. That's problematic now because they've bred it to be hallucinogenic. Yeah. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't take marijuana extract. It's just too risky for the average Joe Smith. Mm-hmm. But you can freely use industrial hemp extract without issue. Furthermore, I haven't found such a fantastic tool for the nerves before. Mm-hmm. I've never seen anything so effective for pain, both internally and topically. Even we have one practitioner giving it to tennis elbow, rotator cuff injuries, shoulder injuries. Wow. Routinely he uses the hempanol cream and the super strength because it's aggressive transdermal anti-inflammatory. We need to make this common knowledge to the general population. Here's another one. Mm-hmm. What are we worried about? How about pharmaceutical drug addiction to the brain, insomnia drugs, SSRIs, which cause suicide and suicidal ideation, fatality, and self-harm, and even harm to others? Huh? We're going to be concerned about an extract of industrial hemp?
Right.
This is going to save the human race, save people from self-destruction, give people an alternative to anti-insomnia and neuroleptic drugs, give them a chance to, with their doctor's care, get off those medications, and give people with addiction. I have a big section of my book about addiction because this hempanol material, especially combining the oregano with the hemp, is very effective for pot addiction. I don't want people smoking pot, by the way.
Right.
I mean, I think we all support, I do, I support people with medical cards that have no other option, but I would suggest to them that they switch to the extract of some kind.
Right, have the option.
Yeah, I mean, but I do support them for that.
Right.
But I don't want people smoking pot recreationally.
And I think that's the big thing, right? Because that in its own is where it gets cloudy, where if anybody ever wants to make a case against the progression of any type of hempanol or anything like that, the cannabinoids type of medicine, right away they have this murky, gray, dirty water that they could go to when again, half of them, it's all about the money that's going into their pockets from Big Pharma.
It is. No, and it's about the money, too. Monsanto now has entered into the thing with their genetically engineered cannabis, and then the money that the pot industry garners. So stay away from the money grubbers that actually cause people harm, and go more to either finding a good company on the net that you feel comfortable with, or the hemp and all, which is a supercritical non-solvent. And if you've got chronic pain, if you've got SSRI drug addiction, if you're an insomniac, you really need to look at this. Migraine, headache, neurological conditions, autism, ADD, the parents are getting benefits. The parents put pressure on the legislator in Ohio and Pennsylvania, forcing the issue, and now it's legal to use the extract because they saw benefits with their children. So CBD has a value, but hempanol is like night and day. It's the top level because there's no solvents used and no heat. So all the cannabinoids are going to be biologically active to the maximum. You're going to get quicker results, no toxicity. You can give this form, this, and I don't want to stress brand too much, but I got to help you. You can give the hempanol form to babies, to infants, to toddlers, to dogs, to cats, to your salamander. I mean, it's just nothing.
Dr. Cass, you're absolutely amazing. Anybody wants any more information, I highly suggest it. The passion is right there. The information is right there. The work is there and the proof is there. The Cure's in the cupboard and the Cannabis Cure are on sale. You go to 1-800-295-3737. Go to CassIngram.com or AmericanWildFoods.com. And we got a little drop, a little spoiler earlier with the poison cupboard that you're working on. That absolutely seems phenomenal. You talk about the summer of sequels and blockbusters.
Yeah.
We're excited about that one. Dr. Cass Ingram, obviously, you have a home here. Is there any last words for the wonderful people of Chicago?
All the wonderful people of Chicago, if you have a nervous system inflammation, chronic disease, disability, if you can somehow get into this hemp extract. If you have insomnia, the Hempanol PM. During the day for regular problems, Hempanol extract. And not to push a brand, but this is supercritical carbon dioxide, raw, non-solvent extracted organic cannabis with the oregano. It's exceptional for chronic ill health, cardiovascular as well. It's changed my life. I wrote the book, The Cannabis Cure, in 90 days, and I wrote 2 other books that I'm slowly releasing. So I got, basically in 120 days, I got 3 books done, thanks to this hempanol. It changed my life. I'm no longer an insomniac. Does that tell you something? And I have good health. So how about you? I think we're going to see some miracles if people take some action.
It's absolutely
There's no other
awesome.
way to get it. You can't go growing it in your backyard at this point.
No, not anymore. That was Monsanto doing everything like that.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Right.
He's the Terminator, guys. You hear the energy in him. He's our favorite here on Outreach Radio Chicago. The Cure is in the cupboard. The Cannabis Cure. Call 1-800-295-3737. www.CassIngram.com or AmericanWildFoods.com. Be on the lookout for the 2 new books that are coming out. He's slowly releasing them. He's doing a whole Marvel, DC, Star Wars thing where we have a whole Dr. Cass Ingram universe, and I absolutely love it. Dr. Cass, you are absolutely amazing. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time you're here on Outreach Radio.
You too, and let me know if your folks need some more hempanol. I'll dig some up.
Oh, I appreciate that. You're doing me a favor by having them nice and relaxed. That means I don't have to pay any bills with them.
You don't even have to go visit them anymore. They're going to be fine.
It's perfect. It got me off the hook. Thank you so much, Dr. Cass Ingram. We'll talk to you soon, and we'll be right back here on Outreach Radio Chicago. One last big thank you to Dr. Cass Ingram for joining us today on Outreach Radio Chicago. If you want more information about all the cool stuff that he was talking about, the hemp, the oils, everything like that, just for more research, more information, are you somebody who's suffering from, sleep depression, anybody from anxiety, depression itself? There's a lot of serious health issues that people go through. Hopefully, you guys can find something here that will help you out. You can go to 1-800-295-3737. That's 1-800-295-3737. Visit CassIngram.com or AmericanWildFoods.com and look for the books, The Cure is in the Cupboard and The Cannabis Cure, and see if you guys can find any helpful information there. Thank you again, Dr. Cass Ingram, and thank you guys so much for joining us today on Outreach Radio Chicago. I'm everywhere in your universe. You can follow me on Twitter at mmercado2333, like the radio show page on Facebook at Outreach Radio Chicago. And if you missed anything, just go to YouTube. Subscribe to me at Mike Mercado 2333. We have past shows there, and we have interviews with the former UFC heavyweight champion Frank Mir and the current UFC bantamweight champion Dominic Cruz. I hope you guys enjoyed that, and also some awesome videos that we have up there. Thank you so much again to Dr. Cass Ingram. Thank you guys so much. We will see you next time on Outreach Radio Chicago. Take us home, Hav. Hey everybody, Mike Mercado here from Outreach Radio Chicago, and I just want to thank you all for all the support you have given us on the brand new show. If someone you know wants to get the word out on a fundraiser, charity, or foundation in your local community, please send us an email at outreachradiochicago@gmail.com or send me one personally at mmercado@newswebradio.net. Or you can tweet me at mmercado2333, and don't forget to like our Facebook page at Outreach Radio Chicago.